Hi everybody, welcome to GBTV, Justin's. I'm your host, Elda, today, and we have our special guest with us. We have Miss Margaret. I guess I don't need to say Miss Margaret. We have Margaret with 3 new books from our collection, Miss Katie from Kid Space with some new items from our collection, and Miss Tracy with some great new movies from our collection. We're going to start with Miss Katie.
Awesome. So I wanted to show you kind of what's new in our early learning department. We have some really cool puzzles. This is a sound puzzle, and we have one here of all the musical instruments. So this is best for ages 3 to 5, I would say, and it has these pegs, and when you put the peg in, it actually, you can hear the instrument playing. You can't hear it right now, but it's really great to get to know the notes or the musical instruments of the orchestra. We have other ones in this series too that make sounds. The next puzzle we have that's new is inside the human body. So this is great when you're talking about, trying to get to know the different parts of your body for the littlest kids. Again, it's got those pegs that are great to learn hand-eye coordination and dexterity in the fingers. And then this one, as you can see, has a sheep and a lamb. And this is I took the puzzle pieces off, but it's very similar. It has the pegs. But what I like about this collection is it's a mama and a baby for a whole bunch of different animals. So this is just one in the series. So there's a dog and a puppy and a tadpole and a frog. And so you're learning some science right along with the puzzle activities.
Those are really awesome.
Yeah.
Can't beat a new puzzle, too.
Absolutely. And we have a whole bunch more, too, in our collection. So please come on in and see our new puzzles. We also have some new toys. So this one is called Build the Letter Activity Center. And I love this one because it combines, it's a bunch of STEM things all at once. It combines engineering and building with literacy. So,
Excellent.
yeah, what you're going to do is, here's a letter F, and then you take the tools to just snap them together like this.
How fun.
Yeah, and then you can put it right on, so you're learning letters at the same time as STEM concepts such as building.
That is an excellent idea.
Yes.
I wish I'd thought of that back in the day when my kids were small. That's really cool.
Yeah, these are really cool too because you could use Play-Doh on top of it. You could just trace your finger. All kinds of great things for you can many uses.
And then I can just hear the mom working with the child with the phonics.
Yes.
It's
exactly
science, phonics,
and
reading,
fun.
and fun.
And
F
fun.
for fun,
And
yes.
you have to have fun while you're learning. That's how kids learn. And then I have a couple more things. This is a new book that just came in, and it is called Bubby and Rivka's Best Ever Challah. So this is about challah bread, which is a staple of Jewish culture. And what's really awesome, it's the story of a grandmother and her granddaughter, and they go through they tell the story of challah bread, but then they go through and try to make challah bread together, and they make a whole bunch of different mistakes.
I was going to ask, because you say try to make it together.
Yes, they do. They make all kinds of mistakes. They accidentally get distracted in the snow and forget the timer goes off, and oh no, it gets burned. But finally, they go together and they wait for the challah to come out, and it comes out delicious.
Aww.
So it's got that kind of lovely cultural thread, but also baking together in friendship and family.
And it's okay to make mistakes element.
Absolutely.
I like
Absolutely. So that's a great one. And then
Sure
lastly,
is.
this is a surprise that I just had to bring to GBTV because we just got it in. It's not even in our catalog yet, so you're going to have to wait a day or so before you put it on hold. But this is called Acorn Soup, and it's a counting game. This is, again, I would say even a 2-year-old could do this together with a grown-up. What it is you have these recipe cards. So this is for summer soup. I really wish it was summer right now.
Me too.
So maybe you can use your imagination to make summer soup. And what you do is you'd match up. Okay, so we need 2 of these purple flowers. We need 3 blueberries, and we need, it looks like a little dandelion. And then you'd count and put them in the soup, and then you stir it up to make that specific recipe. So it has that math literacy along with it.
That is
So,
And those cards are so cute too. They're so
Yes.
colorful. I wish you guys could actually see them in person right now because I want flower soup after seeing that card.
yeah, absolutely.
Miss Katie, can you remind us, I'm sorry, can you put toys on hold?
You can. Yep, you can
okay.
put toys on
So you
hold.
just go into the catalog,
Yep,
search them up, and reserve them the same way you would a book or a movie.
absolutely.
Okay.
And then you get the same time out too. You have them for a whole 28 days. So it's great,
That's a lot of soup making too.
right? And you could have it with some challah.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's a meal.
totally.
And you could probably spell it out if you get all
Yes.
3 of those.
Yes,
Well, those are excellent, great new items for our collection. Thank you for sharing them.
of course.
Wonderful.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's hear what you have. What new books do we have this?
Oh, I brought you some great titles.
Oh,
I tried to pick some really interesting ones, so I'm curious to see which connects with you. So you'll
Okay.
have to let me know which one of these books is the one you think you'll check out.
all right.
'Cause
Is there
I'm
one
sure
for each
you-
of us here?
You could all have a book
All
if
right.
you want, no problem. So the first one I picked out is called House in the Pines by Anna Reyes. This
Ooh.
is a psychological thriller. It came out at the beginning of January and it was an instant New York Times bestseller.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Is it scary?
it's a little dark. It's interesting. It has kind of an unreliable narrator. It starts with Maya, who is only in high school when her best friend Audrey suddenly dies while standing in front of a mysterious man that they just met named Frank. Very odd. 7 years later, Maya is deep in addiction and trying to overcome this traumatic event when she suddenly sees on YouTube a girl drop dead in a diner in front of who else? The
same
mysterious Frank.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Very, very strange, right? Now she realizes she has to go back to her hometown and try to figure out what really happened that summer.
Ooh, this sounds awesome.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Besides being an instant bestseller, this was a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. And it's getting really good reviews as kind of this fast-paced, twisty psychological
yeah, like Girl on
thriller.
a Train kind of.
Yes,
if you
yeah.
like that.
Like Gone Girl type thing
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So if you like those, this would be a good pick for you.
That sounds like a great one.
I don't know if I could read that at night. I'd be pretty scared.
If I could read it ever, but
Well, if you want something a little different, I've got a great little more light-hearted book for you. My next pick is To Get to the Other Side, and that is by Kelly Olert. It's more whimsical, fun little story, and it is a romance set in Chicago, which I like that local
Nice.
setting. Trixie is driving through downtown Chicago when she spots a chicken struggling to run across the road. Well,
downtown
Trixie-
Chicago.
Downtown Chicago.
right.
Yes. And she's an animal lover, so she knows she has to stop and rescue this injured chicken. She brings this chicken home, but unfortunately, no pets allowed, and she is evicted out of her apartment, right? Meanwhile, Bear is just, contentedly working for his family's flower business when his meddling sisters decide to list for rent a room in his home.
Uh-oh.
And guess who applies to be the roommate?
The chicken.
Trixie and her secret chicken. So he agrees she can stay in the room as long as everything stays platonic. So you have to read and find out, does their close proximity and chicken caretaking lead to a deeper romance? Yep.
This is
you'll
reminding
have
me
to
a little bit about Friends and Joey with his.
Oh yes, totally. Chicken to duck, right?
Yes.
Chicken in the duck. So yes, if you're an animal lover
Yeah.
or you love love, this is a great book for you.
For Valentine's Day.
Good Valentine's Day pick. Light, I like to read it over the weekend. That's when I just picked up and had a nice fun time reading. So it's a good one. And finally, this last one I picked because what is the most talked about bestseller right now? It's Spare by Prince Harry. So I thought maybe after you pick up the book Spare, you might want to learn a little bit more, read a little more historical fiction about the royal family, a royal family. This one talks about King Ludwig II of Bavaria. And what's interesting about King Ludwig is he was declared insane and he was kicked off the throne in 1886, but he was found mysteriously drowned 3 days later.
Oh boy.
So this Steve Berry book kind of reimagines that story where they're saying he really perhaps was not as insane as they're saying, and he had gone knowing that he was going to be deposed by his enemies and had found a new kingdom where he would reign. So today, bring it back to today, and our special agent, Cotton Malone, is sent on the case to discover a document that could upset global power across the world. Did King Ludwig actually have a document proving he ruled this piece of land? We'll have to see. It's a race across countries, a race across time. Who knows what will happen?
Sounds so dramatic. And
It does.
awesome.
It does. Also, you're absolutely right. 3 completely different types of
Now,
books.
this Steve Berry, he always hits the bestseller list. This one's not out quite yet. This comes out at the end of February, but you can get on the hold list now. And Steve Berry is one of our popular fan club authors, favorite author now. So if you know you love Steve Berry as an author, go to our Goodreads. It's now called Book Lovers. We changed our page over to be our Book Lovers page.
Nice.
So if you go to our website, gailborden.info, drop down Books and More, you'll see Book Lovers page, and our fan club is right there. Get on the list so you're first one to find out what happens.
And I like your suggestion. While waiting for that one, you can read Prince Harry's book.
Absolutely.
We have many copies of Prince Harry's
Yes,
books.
indeed. I have not started. I watched the documentary though, and it's great.
The documentary is great, I agree.
Yes.
It made me want to read his book.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with To Get to the Other Side as my pick, by the
Okay.
way.
Staying with the chickens, huh?
I'm staying with the chickens and Trixie. Tracy, what do you have for us in the new movie world?
Well, first I want to wish everybody a happy Groundhog's Day.
Oh.
Happy
What happened?
Groundhog's Day. He saw his shadow.
What does that mean again?
6 more weeks of winter.
Oh my
No.
gosh. That
It's
was a
true.
good movie though in itself, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Groundhog Day.
And actually, just on the way into work today, I heard the guy who was spearheading all the events in Woodstock talking about how one of the scenes from the movie was filmed here in Elgin.
Ah.
Now, I spent about 5 minutes trying to find out if that was true or not, and I did not come up with anything. So I challenge anybody to see if they can find any information on that and
And put it
corroborate
in the
that.
comments if you know where that was
Oh,
filmed in
Yeah,
Elgin.
yeah, absolutely.
But I have a question for you about that. So are we supposed to watch the movie and figure out what scene is Elgin? He didn't say. He just said one scene was filmed in Elgin. He didn't give us any
He said
clues.
specifically it's a restaurant scene where Bill Murray's brother chokes on a steak.
All right.
Oh.
I have to rewatch the movie and figure out when that is.
Yes.
I watched a couple of clips. I saw one that looked like a potential Elgin location, but not quite sure. This was what, 80 something. It's 30 years old today. So the movie. So anyway, take a look,
Yeah.
see if you
Let
can
us
figure
know
it out.
if anybody knows that. Let us know.
Yes,
There's been a
please.
lot
Do
of
we
great-
have
great
Groundhog Day
movies
in our
in
movie
Elgin.
collection?
Yes, we do. We do
All right.
own
Yeah.
Groundhog Day. I think it's checked out. It might be me. I don't know. But we do own it, and you can get it. It's good any time of the year, not just Groundhog's Day. It's also National Tater Tot Day. I just thought I'd throw that in there. And because we're on a food theme, I'm going to start with the first movie that I picked that's new to our collection called The Menu. Perhaps you've
The
heard of it.
Menu.
So I'm going to lean hard into my notes today because I want you all to know about this. The Menu is billed as a dark comedy horror and it is certainly that. So, a young couple, Nicholas Hoult and Anna Taylor-Joy, who you know from The Queen's Gambit, The Witch, things like that. They visit a highly exclusive destination restaurant on a remote island where an acclaimed chef prepares an Epicurean menu that includes some shocking surprises.
Oh boy.
So, the cast also includes Ralph Fiennes, who is excellent, John Leguizamo. It's a really fun, sometimes tense, nasty little film with a good build-up, and let the record show that there is violence and some deranged horror-style stuff. So this is not for the kids.
It looks scary. It
It's-
seems a little scary.
It's a little bit this, and it's a little bit get your popcorn and this kind of a thing. So it's a really good movie for a winter night after the kids have gone to bed, or just cuddling up, on the couch. Check it out. It's good. I gave it 2 Milk Duds out of a possible 4. It was, I think, as the kids say, mid, but still fun because there are those peek through your fingers moments and the, chewing on the popcorn, what's going to happen next moments. So it's definitely still worth it. Lots of good surprises and lots of good, ew, oh gosh, okay. So check it out.
Were you hungry after you read it or not?
That's a really great question. I'll let you decide. You tell me if you're hungry after you see it.
I'll report back.
Okay.
Or if anybody's already watched the movie, let us know in the comments what you think. Were you hungry after you watched it?
Okay, so now we're going to shift gears entirely and get a little serious. The next movie that I chose that is new to our collection is called Till. And it's the true story of Mamie Till Mobley's relentless pursuit of justice for her 14-year-old son, Emmett Till, who was brutally lynched in 1955 while visiting his cousins in Mississippi. This is not an easy movie to watch. It's an incredibly visceral experience. It's very well acted. It's Danielle Deadweiler, Jalen Hall, Whoopi Goldberg. You're probably gonna cry. You're gonna feel utterly heartbroken. You're gonna feel angry. And it's because it's such an important part of our history, and because the film does such an incredible job of putting us in the shoes of this grieving mother, that I think you should see it. Emmett Till's murder, the courage his mother shows, forcing America to look at this, the brutal, ugly truth of it, is actually one of the catalysts to the civil rights movement. So it's not gruesome, but it's very real. His mother fought for justice for decades, and just last year, 67 years after Emmett Till's murder, the Emmett Till anti-lynching law was passed.
Wow.
67 years. So
Wow.
let that sink in. I gave it 3.5 Milk Duds, only because I think the subject matter is so important and sadly still so relevant today that I wanted it to push harder, but it still does an excellent job. It's a must-see.
And thanks for sharing that with us, the viewers, because it's really easy to gravitate to the movies that feel good and are fun. But every once in a while, it's really important to watch these movies that are shake you to the core history movies, because history sometimes needs to be painful.
Totally agree.
So,
And
thank you.
actually, that is a beautiful segue into the next one that I chose that is new to our collection, called Call Jane. This one came in kind of under the radar. You may not have heard of it. It's the story of a housewife who is overjoyed about her pregnancy until she learns that it reveals a potentially deadly heart condition that she was unaware of and poses a serious threat to her life. So in pre-Roe v. Wade 60s, she has nowhere to turn until she discovers an underground group of women who risk everything to provide help. And this is a fictionalized look at what would be known as the Jane Collective that actually started and happened here in Chicago in the 60s and 70s. It stars Elizabeth Banks, who you're probably more accustomed to seeing in comedies, and she does an excellent job in this. It also stars Sigourney Weaver. I gave it 2.5 milk duds, just because it's a pretty light look at a serious and again still very relevant topic, but it's really good and another opportunity to learn about some history with far-reaching effects. So
That's an important time to learn about that as well.
yeah, we're coming up on Black History Month. We're in Black History Month. We're coming up on Women's History Month, and these are all really good opportunities to get a glimpse into why we celebrate those months.
Great.
So I also want to mention that among those, there are so many other things to choose from as well. I always have such a difficult time trying to pick the 3 titles for this because we just have so much and we cover so much ground. Please look at the catalog. Please come in. We could do kind of a reader's advisory style, what do you like kind of a thing, and make some excellent recommendations because we have so much. Not to mention all of our digital platforms, Hoopla, Canopy, a bottomless pit of excellent, excellent stuff.
True.
Yeah.
I agree. I have a question for you.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so thank you for sharing your movies. Thanks for keeping it real. But on the much lighter side, since we are coming up to something a little bit more fun like Valentine's Day, just throw one thing out there that you might recommend to our readers that would be fun for Valentine's Day.
Way to
You have
put
2
me on the
seconds. Go.
spot. Oh man. Well, I
Well,
don't
you watch a
know.
lot of movies, so
I do, but I'm full disclosure. I'm not really a big romance, rom-com kind of
I
person.
can tell. No, just kidding.
I
All right,
tend
I'll
to
throw
like.
one out there. I don't know if it's in our collection though, but what comes to the top of my mind right off the head is The Proposal.
Oh yeah, I know that movie.
yeah.
So that's Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
You're right, Elda. That movie's actually pretty cute.
Yeah.
And the
And
main
fun to
character's
watch.
name is Margaret in that one, I believe.
Yes, I
Yes.
think you're right.
Yes. Oh, it's also, what's her name? Golden Girl. What's her name?
Betty White.
Oh, yeah, Betty White.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I just had to take this to a much lighter note. So, although history is super important and those were 2 great movies, it is Valentine's Day and that's a nice time to be light.
It is. And of course, to your
Little
point,
love.
we have a whole dedicated section to romance and rom-com. So come on in and check it out.
There's something for everyone at the library.
There
right? No matter
is.
what your taste is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this was really fun. I want to thank our special hosts today. I hope you guys, you viewers, enjoyed this as much as I did. And I know that soup is going to be put on hold. So acorn soup for everyone.
Soup.
And please comment in the comments if you have read, watched, or checked out any of our fabulous puzzles. And thank you guys again, and thank you our viewers. And we will see you again in 2 weeks, I believe.
Great.
That's good. See
So,
you next time.
bye everybody.
thank you.
Happy Groundhog's Day.
Bye.